Hi everybody, so today I have got a lot of the brand new Dior releases, including 2 shades of their new stick foundation, which I'll be trying and comparing them to the shades in the liquid formula. I've picked up the lightest shade in the contour stick, which I'll also be trying on today. And I got the lightest of the 2 contour and glow duo palettes. And I've also got 2 shades in the blush and glow duos. And I cannot wait to get started with all of this. I really can't. I love doing Dior releases, and this is quite a big release. And if you're new here, hi, my name's Hannah. I'm 47, not a professional, just somebody who loves makeup and beauty. And here on my channel, I review new products, my favourite products, give you any favourite looks, news I think you might be interested in. If you think you'd enjoy that sort of content, I do upload here at least twice a week, if not more. And I would love it so much if you liked and subscribed. And if you're already subscribed, thank you so very much for returning. I appreciate all of you. And I would love to hear from you in the comments section below. I love to get chatting with you and get to know you. It is my favourite part of doing this, it really is. And my skin, if that's useful to you, I've got fair to light skin with neutral undertones that can lean a little cool. I've got combination skin with a slightly oily T-zone. Anyway, that's enough about me, let's get on with this video. So this huge release only launched in the UK yesterday on the Sunday, completely took me by surprise. I was not prepared for it at all. So I did a rush purchase so that it would come here today. It's now Monday, so I'm hoping to get this video out for you today. So what I'm going to do today is try the foundation on and everything else you've seen in this video, but I will film a part 2 for you tomorrow showing my full wear test. I didn't want to just give you a clip, I want to show you the full wear test. And also because I couldn't get all of the shades in the blush and glow that I wanted, I've got one other shade coming from Dior. So that will be coming tomorrow. So tomorrow I will film a part 2 giving you my 8-hour wear test on this foundation, plus trying the new blush shade. So look out for that tomorrow. So today we're going to try on one of these, but I'm going to try on both colours quickly just to see which one would suit me best. So quick information on this foundation. It says that this is a first Dior multi-use foundation stick with 24 hours wear and hydration, which achieves a natural blurred finish. Incredibly buildable, the coverage evens out your complexion and visibly erases imperfections in a single sweep. Continuously hydrated, the skin breathes, designed to blend with the skin. The soft and light texture of Dior Forever Skin perfectly blends. Resistant to heat and humidity, the stick with a blurring filter effect can be used as a foundation over the entire face, as a targeted concealer, or as a stick for touch-ups on the go. And this is non-comedogenic and dermatologically tested. So this comes in 12 different shades. It costs £48 each, and it also says that it's medium coverage, cream formula, natural finish and water resistant. So I won't be going in the water to test this, but I can tell you we do have very high humidity here today, so this will be a perfect way to test out just how good that is in the heat and the humidity. So for tomorrow's video with the wear test, you will see how well this wore. So I've picked up shade 0N and 1N, which I also have in the Dior Forever Skin Glow. So I'm going to show you how close they are in shade to those in case you already have these in your collection and you're worried that the colours might be slightly different. And first of all, look at the case, and I can tell you this is the nicest foundation stick case I think I have ever owned. I think it is absolutely beautiful. It feels very solid and weighty, and it's just really, really pretty. So this is the shape. It's got a sort of oval shape to it, and obviously it's twist up. So this is the lightest of the 2. This one is 0N. You get 10 grams of product, and this one was made in Japan. So I'm going to just swatch it on my face first, and then I'm going to swatch the Forever. I am actually going to take all this off. So I'm going to swatch the liquid against it so you can see the difference. And the reason I got the both is I thought, oh, look what happens when I just opened the other one. I don't know if that's because it's a refill. I think it must be a refill. There. I didn't realise it was a refill. Anyway, nothing wrong with the product. So it looks like you can buy these as refills, hopefully, because it pops out very easily. Okay, so here we have 1N. So I think this might be more suited to me for summer and this one more for winter. or I might need to blend the two together to get the perfect shade. So I've got the 1N here in the Forever Skin Glow from Dior, and I'm going to put this alongside so you can see the difference. So obviously the texture is going to be different, but the shade match looks pretty similar. Sorry, my memory card was full and I just had to stop and do a massive delete. Anyway, I told you I was rushing this one out and I wasn't prepared. So looking at the two together, I do feel like the stick one looks more of a true neutral to me, whereas the Forever Glow is a little bit more yellow. So that's quite promising actually, because I've never got on very well with 1N. I've always found it a bit too yellow. You can definitely see that it's a much thicker formula, the liquid version compared to this stick. Now, obviously I'm not trying it on here properly. I'm going to be doing that in a minute. I just wanted to show you the comparison. So it's definitely lighter coverage and maybe a bit more neutral, which is great if you're looking for a more true neutral. And here is the liquid formula compared with this new stick formula in the 0N. And these two do seem to be a more true match. So obviously we've got the thicker formula here with the liquid. Sorry, my hair's getting in there. And then the stick formula just seems to be that much lighter. But the colours do look the same. Maybe again though, slightly less yellow. So I do think these are more true neutrals. So if you're like me, been finding that a lot of the neutrals are a bit yellowish, you might think that these sticks are much better for you from a colour match point of view. That's just a very, very early first impression. Obviously I need to try them on properly. So 1N, extremely similar, but this one again, like with this side, I think it's more of a true neutral. I'm just going to wash all of this off now and be back to try on the foundation in full. So I've washed that off. I've just got normal skincare on, so I've just got a moisturiser on. I'm not going to use any primers with this. I have been finding now in the summer I don't really need primers. They seem to work better, foundations on top of just moisturisers for me at the moment, or a very moisturising primer. So I'm just going to leave my skin as it is for today. And if this doesn't work out so well and the check-in shows it didn't wear well, tomorrow I will try something else. So I'll be able to report back to you in part 2 tomorrow on a different base if needed. So this claims it can be used as a concealer as well. So that's what I'm going to attempt today. So I'm going to start with just the foundation. So I'm going to put a few swipes of this in all the areas where I want the more deep shades. So basically my lighter shade is going to be my brightening concealer in theory. I'm not going to go in with any more because I want to see how this sits. I'm going to use the new BO5 from Rephr, which I've been really enjoying. And rather than a patting motion, I'm just going to actually swipe this on and see how I get on. That's going on very nicely actually. So my immediate thoughts looking at the liquid formula of the Forever Skin Glow was that this is giving lighter coverage, and at the moment that does seem to be exactly what I'm getting. It's definitely giving quite a natural light coverage. Now I've got a lot of redness around the nose and cheek area there, so let's see how it deals with that. So this claims to correct, conceal. I think it's done that very nicely. It's feeling very comfortable. It's going on beautifully on the surface of my skin. It's working in so effortlessly as well. I'm hardly having to do anything actually. So I do think having a moisturised base really helps with foundations. I don't know if it's this time of year. It'd be very interesting for me to try doing this in the winter. But this one is just blending out beautifully. So I've got quite a bit of redness on my forehead. Let's see how it deals with that. I don't have a lot of foundation up there. So that's my whole face with a very light layer of this foundation. I think that's a really beautiful light coverage at the moment, I would call that, not medium, definitely light. But let's see if it can be built up a bit. So let's see if it's okay to swipe it on top and not remove what's underneath. But now, because I already have some underneath, I'm going to move to a patting motion now rather than swiping. Yeah, that's building up nicely actually. So it is taking it to more of a medium cover. But looking at that, I don't think you're ever going to get anything more than a, well, it is medium. It's definitely not going to be a full coverage, this one, that's for sure, but it doesn't claim to be. That is really beautiful, you know, really, really beautiful. To be fair, the Liquid Skin Glow from Dior is one of my all-time favourite foundations, so I was expecting to love this one. So now I'm going to go in with the lighter one in the areas where I like to brighten a bit. I'm actually going to stop there and not put any more because I'm going to try the contour stick, and I like to add my brightening concealer after a contour stick. What I will do is go in with my Rephr number 5, BO5, and I'm going to take it on this brush and see if I can use this as a concealer. See what sort of coverage this gives me. And see how it sits in the lines. I mean, foundations never work well for me in the corners of my eyes ever. So if this one does, it'll be a first. And so far that's looking quite promising. Let's see if it can correct the purple in my eyelid. That's done a good job of correcting if you compare this side to the side I haven't done. So now I'll go on and do the other side. So right now that's sitting very nicely. I'm going to let it warm up with the skin before I set, and the next thing I'll do is try this new contour stick. So I'll just show you the packaging. The difference here is it's all black, so the Dior sign is black, whereas with the foundation it's silver, so at least you know which is which on your beauty table. Lovely packaging, as solid and beautiful as the foundation packaging, and as I said before, probably the best packaging. This one isn't popping out, so I don't know if it's refillable. If anyone knows about the refillable options with these, then please do say in the comments below. I haven't had time to even look into that at the moment. Anyway, here is the contour shade, which looks like a lovely cool tone for me in the lightest shade. But I will do a quick few comparisons in case you already have contour sticks in your collection. So here is a swatch of this one from Dior. Gosh, that was a bit messy then. So a lovely cool shade there. And this is Rare Beauty in Bright Side. So you can see that Bright Side, even though it's a lovely contour shade, is a bit warmer. One is the Makeup by Mario contour stick in Light. Again, this appears to be warmer, even though I love this stick, but the new one from Dior is looking like a perfect match. And lastly, we have this one from Westman Atelier. This is in their Biscuit shade, probably my favourite one out of all of them. And that is actually the closest to the Dior. But if I had to pick one of the four at the moment as my perfect contour shade, I think it's looking like Dior, so I can't wait to try it on now. So I'm going to take a little bit of this on the side of the nose. It's very, very creamy. Didn't give me a very precise line there. Anyway, I could work with it. This is just melting straight into that foundation beautifully. They work together so well, you know. Well, this is a winning combination. Look how nice and easy that is. I love that. Very, very early impression. This could knock Westman Atelier off my top spot. I'm going to take a little bit under the lips. I'll just apologise in advance for the noises. I've got husband, 2 boys all home, and they are just doing so much around the house and being really noisy. They know I'm filming, but I can't keep reminding them. And also we've got the dog groomer outside, and our poor doggies are having a groom on the mobile van. So everything's going on in this house today. So this could be swiped. I really don't like doing that when the foundation is sitting so nicely. I don't want to disrupt it. Okay, I'll try it once. So I'm going to just go in the contour area there. I've got my 109. Let's see how easily this blends out. That is just melting into the foundation. Oh my days. This is beautiful. No exaggeration, this combination of the foundation with this is making me so happy. I want to avoid doing this side because I want to show you, I really don't want to do that, but we do have the contour and glow duo, so I think I will avoid contour on this side so I can keep this completely clear for that. And it looks like it is not moving any of the foundation. So I think I can do this quite safely. The This is such an easy, natural formula. They really are a perfect duo. And I've got here the Contour and Glow, which I will go into in more detail, and I'll be using this as my bronzer today. But what I wanted to try was using this as a contour instead, because I think this looks a little bit warmer and possibly won't work as well as a contour. Now, I would rather have powder on this side of the face, really, but I just want to quickly see how this works. So I'm using the same 109, which I've just wiped off. Let's see what sort of shade I'm getting if I'm using it just as a contour. They are quite similar, actually. I didn't think this was going to work as a contour shade. What do you think? I prefer the contour stick, the way it blended in. But that looks quite promising as well, actually. I will be adding products to make this a lot more blended out, so please don't think I'm leaving it like that, but that actually works very well too. Didn't expect that. I never go in with powder at this stage. I like to wear a contour underneath, then powder over the top. Sorry, that's my husband trying to make the dogs happy because they're scared about having their groom. If you can hear that noise, I do apologise. Yeah, looking at it on the forehead, I don't think it looks as nice as the contour stick. No. That doesn't mean I don't like it, but the way I would prefer to use this would be to powder down on top of foundation and then apply this using just any sort of powder brush. But yeah, I do think that is a good shade, so I don't think you necessarily need both. But I will be trying this as my bronzer today, so I'll put this away because I want to do a few comparisons for you. But the powder certainly worked very well on top of foundation without me needing to have any sort of setting powder, which is a good sign. So these products are working very well together. Definitely give me more of a matte finish as well, so depends what you're looking for. So now I'm going to, actually I'm not going to just swipe it. I do think the shape of this is just too bulky for the nose. And again, that's not its intention, is it? So I'm just taking some on a brush. This is my Nicky LaRose N16 brush, which I do like to use a lot for nose things like this, for contour creams. And now I'm going to take some on this 109 brush and just put a little bit underneath the contour there, to sort of chisel out the contour line a bit. And pop a bit of brightness there, which is definitely doing. And a little bit of brightness here, and then on the chin. The foundation has that classic Dior smell. It's not very strong actually. I'm not picking it up on my face, I just pick it up on the brush as it's getting near to my face from applying it. So with no powder, that is how both foundations and the lighter one used as my concealer is looking on the skin. Really pleased. And obviously we have the contour stick on this side and the powder contour on this side. So now the test for whether this works as a concealer will be to powder underneath. So I'm going to use my trusted powder, Givenchy. I'm using the pressed powder that was the limited edition in shade 1. So I'm just pressing in the concealer and then putting the powder on. So here's a close-up of how that looks powdered on my eyelids and underneath. And I have to say I am extremely impressed. I've never ever had a foundation work like this under the eyes for me before. The only one that might work as well as this, but probably not quite as good in my very fine lines, is the Merit stick, which I do use in exactly the same way. So if you like that ease of use, where you've got concealer and foundation in one, and you like a more perfected finish, this is looking like a fabulous foundation choice. And I didn't go into all the details about the contour. You get 4 shades in this and it costs £46. The first Dior Forever contouring stick that's easy to apply and blend for a natural looking sculpting or bronzing effect. So you could use this as your full bronzer as well. I would prefer to use this as a contour stick. I think it's absolutely perfect. you could maybe go up a shade. The shade 2 looks extremely warm. I'll try and find pictures of those for you, and if I can, I'll pop them up here. But yeah, I remember thinking that if I was the next shade up, it would be way too warm for me. Anyway, maybe they'll come out with new shades, seeing as this formula is so good. And it says it's designed to be layered over the Dior Forever foundation, clearly, because they work together beautifully. Creamy texture blends with the skin for a streak-free finish, which it gave me. One intuitive step, the contouring stick warms the complexion, highlights shadowy areas, defines the contours of the face and nose for custom contouring, which we've seen. And it's resistant to heat and humidity, so that will be definitely tested out today. So in my check-in tonight, we can be looking at how the contour is looking as well as the foundation. Formulated to let the skin breathe and provides continuous hydration, non-comedogenic and dermatologically tested. So now I'll be moving on to the bronze all over the face, and for that I'm going to use the powder. So I am just going to pat a little bit, not a lot, just really what's left on the puff of my Givenchy powder here. Pat a little bit more on, not much, because I don't want too much powder. I want that glow that I'm getting from the foundation to come through. But in this sort of weather and with my skin, especially having an oily T-zone, I know from experience that that glow will pop through. But I am still getting a glow with a bit of powder, so that's enough. I won't put any more on. So before I show you this, I've actually done an outdoor swatch of all of the blush and glow and the contour and glow that I've got to show you today. So I'll just quickly show you that video. Here's that clip.
You're something beautiful, electric chemical. You take my breath away, feel my emotions push and pull.
So here is a swatch of this bronze and glow. It is extremely light. I'm going to compare it to YSL in shade 2. I think they're actually quite similar, you know. So that's YSL 2. That does look very similar. So here's the two of them side by side in their actual cases. And I've got the Lancome, the Teint Idol one in shade light. That's how they look side by side. And here is the Lancome here. So this one is a bit more pigmented, a bit slightly darker, but not a massive difference, but it's definitely lighter. It's more of a match for YSL than it is the Lancome. Very, very similar. Gucci in shade 90, so I think there'll be quite a difference with these two. Obviously the Gucci has that shimmery finish, much more so than this one. This might have a slight glow, but the Dior might have a slight glow, but it doesn't have any bits of glitter in. So there is the Gucci. Again, not a massive difference, is there? And lastly, I've got the RMS in Beach Walk Betty, which looks super different there next to it. And there is the swatch of Beach Walk Betty. So that one is definitely warmer than all of these. But the others are looking pretty similar, aren't they? So I've just filmed the application of the bronzer. I thought I'd filmed it with swatches and comparisons, and I don't think my camera was on. I'll find out when I upload. So I'm doing this again. Unfortunately, if it didn't film, you can't see the application, but what I can tell you is this bronzer has gone on so very, very easily. It went on with no patchiness. I only had to apply just sort of 2 layers on the cheeks, maybe a 3rd layer on the forehead. Very light application, very lightweight. It is a really beautiful formula. It's a perfect colour match for me. I really like it. It's giving me that matte finish. So the glow is coming through, I think, from the foundation below, which is lovely. So at the moment, everything I've tried has been a winner. And with the highlighter, it is a little bit goldy, this one, so I'm not going to compare it to all of the different highlighters I've got. I don't tend to buy goldy shades. This isn't massively gold, but it is a little bit. So I'm going to compare it to that Chanel one I've just shown you. This is the very new duo that's just launched from Chanel. This is their Peach and Gold. So I'm swatching this on my hand because I've got a bit of tan there and the gold shows up a bit better. So this one is the Chanel and this one is the Dior. So you can see straight away the Dior is definitely lighter. It's not as gold, but it's a little bit gold, but it doesn't really look gold there, does it? So seeing as the filming didn't work, I'm just going to do a little bit more just to show you how easily this applies. You're not going to get that big shock of colour. It just goes on really, really easily. and very smooth. I really like it. It's got that faint classic Dior fragrance. I only pick up on it when my face is near the palette rather than actually applying it. So I love that scent, but just be aware of that. So just putting a little bit more on my forehead to show you. Just super easy to apply. You will need to build this one up if you want plenty of colour. So that's going in with a third layer, which I probably wouldn't have given myself. I just wanted to show you because the camera stopped. And the highlight I'm not going to use because we have the blush highlighters, but what I will do is use this underneath the brow and in the inner corner. So I'm going to go off camera and do my eyes, and we'll be back so you can see this highlighter. In fact, change of plan, I'm going to use the bronze and the highlighter for my eye look today, because then you can see how both of the colours look together. And that'll be a nice quick eye look for me to do today. So that's the bronzer going into the crease and my outer V area. Very, very simple look, so you can get an idea of just how light this bronzer is. It's certainly not pigmented, this one, and you will need to build it up, so you do need to think about that when buying it if you like that sort of product. If you like to have immediate colour, which I don't, I do like buildable, but if you like immediate colour you will probably not like this one. And certainly you need to go for the next shade up. This does come in 2 shades, and you can go for the deeper shade if you've got a darker skin tone to me. So I'm going to take the highlight now with my finger and pop this across the lid. It gives you an idea of how this looks. Very pretty highlight, isn't it? I'm going to take this on my BK Beauty 107, pop a bit in the inner corner, and then under the brow. That is quite shiny under the brow. Maybe a bit too gold for the brow. I would prefer that to be a bit more white, but anyway, it'll do. So I've gone off camera and I put a bit of liner on, a bit of mascara, a bit of lippy. So that's how really the highlighter looks all over the eye with that bit of bronzer. So they work definitely, really pretty actually. So they definitely work well together. And if I had a bit of this highlighter here, it'd be a very cohesive look then between eyes and cheeks. But we're going to move on to the 2 blush and highlight duos that I've picked up. So I've got here, this one is number 257. This one's called Dioriviera. And this one is 467. It's called Diorette. So the first comparison, and the only comparison actually I'm going to make, is with this one from Chanel, which was also a peach and gold mix. So I'm just going to show you if these are at all similar. Looking at the highlighters there, they do look pretty different, don't they? So here is the Dior, the blush and the highlight, and here is the Chanel, starting with the blush, which is definitely more of an orangey sort of coral, and then the highlight, which is much more gold. More pigmented as well than the one from Dior. So the Dior one is looking very, very soft, and Chanel one takes quite a long time to build, so I'm guessing this one's going to need a lot of time to build. We'll see. So because this didn't look particularly pigmented, I'm actually going to use my Rare Beauty Soft Pinch, I think it's called. It's not written on the side. This came with the Soft Pinch blush anyway. So this is a very dense blush brush, and it picks up a lot more product. There we are, that's straight away giving me plenty. Maybe it just didn't swatch very well, because that is a lot of pigment. That is a beautiful coral, absolutely beautiful. Blending in very nicely with everything else there. That is a stunning shade. I love that coral. We've had so many corals, haven't we, this summer and every summer, let's be honest, but that is stunning. That really is a stunning shade of coral. I'm going to take my Rephr 04 with the highlighter and be a little bit gentle because it is quite goldy. Oh, that is really nice. I'm trying to make this more on top of the blush than as a standalone, because I don't think gold looks very good on my complexion straight on. So I want it to be really sitting on top of the blush like that. So they're on sort of layered. I'm not usually a big fan of golds. I didn't really like the Chanel one actually when I tested this one. I thought it was way too gold, but this one isn't quite as gold, and straight away I like it. I like this a lot more than the peach and gold from Chanel, I can tell you that now. with the Chanel duos, my favourite one was the rose one. The rose and pink, was it? I can't remember what it's called now. But anyway, there was only two, and this was the one I liked the least, and I definitely prefer this one from Dior. I think that one is gorgeous. So this one is the matte pink. I will try a more fluffy brush just to see what happens from a, whether it, oh, it still picks up quite a bit actually. God, these are a lot more pigmented than Chanel. Whoa, so I didn't need that dense brush by the looks of it, because I did a tiny swipe then and it's given me all that already. I really wouldn't need an awful lot more. They didn't swatch like they had much at all, but they're really going on the cheeks much more pigmented than they do when you swatch them. Incredible difference actually, that's really surprised me. So I've cleaned off the Rephr number 4 brush, and I'm going to take some of this highlight. This one is described as a rosy gold highlighter. Again, sitting very nicely. It's quite a fine highlighter. It's definitely not chunky. It's not glittery. It's really nice. It's really nice. It's not often I'd say I would prefer something over the Chanel highlighter formula, but this I really do. This side is reminding me together of my favourite blush this year, which is the Fenty Baked Peach blush, which has gold in it. It's peach with gold. So these two together is giving me Fenty Baked Peach. It really is. In fact, I'll get it out now just to see the difference. So here is the Dior Coral. And if I just put some of this gold over the top, please ignore my dog Florrie. That's how they look layered together. And here is the Fenty Baked Peach. Definitely more pigment in the Fenty, but you can see why I think they're similar, because the Fenty has got that gold shift in it, and this one has a similar effect. There's more shine maybe from the Dior with the highlighter on top, but yeah, they definitely give that same sort of finish. I'll pop a little bit more of this rose gold highlighter on. I shouldn't really, but just a tiny bit more. I'll take some down the nose to see if it's okay. Yeah, it's definitely not too gold by any means. I do feel like I need to soften the edges up a little bit, especially this side, because it was a mistake to use that Rare Beauty brush. I did not need a dense brush, so I would go carefully with these actually. Here is the Diorette, and here is the Dioriviera, if I'm saying that right. I might not be, apologies if I didn't. But the one I wanted to try probably the most is the one that's got the lilac highlighter in, and that wasn't available when I got the first access to this launch yesterday. So I have got that one coming tomorrow, and that's the one I'll be trying when I do my check-in video. So I'll be able to put that one on both sides of the face and you can see exactly how that looks. So this is my full face of all of the new products from Dior, and everything has been a huge hit. Really, honestly, huge hit. I'm so pleased. So far, the foundation is sitting beautifully. There's absolutely no signs of caking. There's no going into fine lines. It's extremely lightweight. There's no stickiness. It's beautiful foundation. I absolutely loved it. And the contour, as I said at the beginning, definite potential for taking my #1 spot. This foundation stick is definitely possible best foundation of the year. That's how much I'm thinking already. I'm not going to say that. I don't want to get carried away. I do need to test this out a lot, but it's up there, let me tell you that. I love it, and I love the convenience of how quickly you can apply this. When I was saying which ones I'd take on holiday, and I said I'd take my tier, which I love, now I'm thinking I'll be taking this because this is easier and it's so natural and beautiful. But what we need to test is the longevity, so I can't really do that today. As I said, I'll be doing that in part 2. But the blush, both the blush duos I've tried, I think are absolutely beautiful. I have really dumbed this down. It can definitely be a lot deeper than this, the pink, and so can the coral. They can be built up so much more than I thought they could. In fact, you saw when I tried it on, they're actually quite powerful. And I think that blush, the contour and highlight looks very pretty on the eyes. These highlighters from both the blush duos would also look very nice in the eyes or in the inner corner and under the brow. So everything I've used today has been a huge hit. I can imagine these being regular rotation products for me possibly never leaving the desk. That's the level I'm already thinking. I need to create a little spot for these because they are so good. So anyway, tomorrow what I'll be doing for you is giving you the full check-in, the latest I can make it, so I'll make sure it goes past 8 hours this evening for you, so you can see how this is worn throughout the day, how it sits under the eyes as a concealer, and how it sits generally all over the face. I will put a little bit of setting spray just because, should I put setting spray or should I leave it? Actually, I'll leave the setting spray. We'll see how this does with no setting spray. And then tomorrow, if I think I've got any issues, I will try setting spray, and I can put a note for you on that video to let you know if that made any difference. So I will actually avoid setting spray. I'm going to completely leave it as this is. So tomorrow I will film that check-in. So look out for that video, my part 2 video, which I will definitely upload tomorrow, showing you the third blush shade, the one I thought was so pretty with the lavender highlight. So I will try that on for you, and I'll basically wear exactly the same base, so we can talk about how well everything's applied, and if there's been any changes in whether I need to change the primer, whether I need to change the way I powder, anything at all, I will let you know. But so far the way I've applied this, I think, has been perfect. Really happy with everything. I'd love to know what you think. Have you been excited about this release? Which one most excited you? Which one have you picked up? Which one's in your wish list? Which one do you think looks best on that I've tried today? I would love to hear your thoughts on these products, and I really hope to see all of you for my video tomorrow with my check-in, because that'll only be a quick one, but I think it's important for you to see how this has lasted. So I really do hope to see you for that. And if you're not subscribed, please do like and subscribe, and if you're already subscribed, as I said earlier, I appreciate you so very much, and hopefully see you tomorrow. Take care everybody. Bye.